And hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Buckle up because today we are witnessing a total mask-off moment for the British political establishment. And yes, that includes the people who claim to be on our side. What I have for you today is an asset that is, quite frankly, a total disaster for anyone hoping for a unified front against the madness of the current government. We're looking at a civil war on the right that makes the Labour Party's internal squabbles look like a Sunday school picnic. It involves Rupert Lowe, Nigel Farage, and allegations of state-sponsored silencing that will leave you absolutely reeling. I want to start with a question for you lot. Do you feel safer or better off than you did 6 months ago? Because the government, the NGOs and the mainstream media are telling us everything is fine, that the system is working and that anyone complaining is just a disruptor. But we can see the chaos with our own eyes, can't we? We see the two-tier policing, we see the high streets dying, and we see our tax money being funneled into a system that seems designed to fail us. Drop a yes or no in the comments right now. Do you trust a single word coming out of Downing Street, or for that matter, any political leader at the moment? Are you seeing the reality on the ground, or are you buying the shameless gaslighting coming from the TV screens? Get those comments in because the establishment hates it when we actually talk to each other. Before we dive into the explosive comments from Rupert Lowe, we need to understand the game. To the average hard-working taxpayer, politics is about making the country better. To the Westminster elite, politics is about management and optics. For years, the right in this country has been playing a dangerous game of trying to look respectable for a media class that will hate them no matter what they do. This is the history of Reform UK and its predecessors. They want to tap into the very real anger of British-born and bred citizens, but the moment someone says something too real, something that breaks the polite consensus of the London dinner parties, the leadership panics. They start glitching out from reality because they're more scared of a bad headline in The Guardian than they are of the collapse of social cohesion in our northern towns. Why does this matter to you? It matters because when political parties start purging their own for speaking about uncomfortable truths, it has three massive consequences. First, it leaves the silent majority without a voice, making you feel like a stranger in your own country. Second, it emboldens the woke elite because they realize they can successfully gatekeep what is allowed to be discussed. Third, it destroys the last shred of trust in our democratic process. If you can't even trust the opposition to tell the truth, who can you trust? Let's translate the jargon. When politicians talk about internal vetting or maintaining standards, what they actually mean is, we are terrified of being cancelled. They are treating our concerns like a PR problem to be managed rather than a national crisis to be solved. They treat our tax money like a blank check for their best mates in the consultancy world, while the actual infrastructure of our country, our safety, our borders, our justice, is left to rot. Are we really supposed to believe that the hard-working taxpayers are the problem here, or is it a political class that is completely away with the fairies? Now, let's look at this asset, and I'm telling you, it's a shocker. Rupert Lowe is coming out swinging against Nigel Farage, and he's not holding back. Lowe says, "I am unsurprised to see Farage attacking me in the media again." He stated that I physically threatened Yusuf, all reported to the police months after the supposed event, the day after I made mild criticisms of Farage. Hold on a minute. Let's look at the street-level view here. We are talking about a 67-year-old man being accused of physically threatening a 38-year-old. Does that pass the smell test to you? This smells like shameless gaslighting of the highest order. When Lowe talks about an armed police raid on his home at night, seizing his property, only for the authorities to drop everything due to insufficient evidence, we have to talk about the consequences. It shows that the state is being used as a weapon to settle political scores, which is something you'd expect in a banana republic, not Great Britain. It terrifies anyone else from speaking up because they know if it can happen to a man of low standing, it can happen to anyone. It proves the existence of two-tier policing, where a political dissident gets the front door kicked in, while actual criminals are given a community resolution or ignored entirely. Lowe goes further. He claims Farage admitted the real reason for the purge was Lowe's comments on deporting entire communities involved in grooming gangs. Lowe says, "I want these scumbags and their scumbag wives out of the country. They raped, tortured and murdered vulnerable white girls for decades, all over Britain. The official statistics will tell you that crime is being managed, but the reality is what Lowe is describing. We have had decades of vulnerable women and girls being sacrificed on the altar of political correctness. The lunatics in charge were so afraid of being called names that they let fighting-age males from backward cultures destroy lives in places like Rotherham and Rochdale. I mean, look at this. How can the establishment say they care about women's rights while they allow this to happen? Do they think we're stupid? Lowe is calling for the mask-off moment where we admit that if a community is complicit in the systematic abuse of children, they have no place in a civilized society. He even goes as far as suggesting the death penalty for the worst offenders. Now that is a bold take that will have the woke media screaming into their lattes. But ask yourself, is he wrong? Or is he just saying what millions of people think at the kitchen table, but are too scared to say in public? Lowe is accusing Farage and Reform of weaponizing our wicked system of two-tier policing by using Zia Yusuf, a Muslim man, as the face of the allegation, knowing the Met Police would be far more likely to side with a Muslim than a white British man. This is heavy stuff. He's saying the woke elite has infiltrated even the supposed insurgent parties. Let me know what you think about that specific point down
down below. Is Reform UK just Labour light in a different tie? Is Nigel Farage part of the problem or part of the solution?
This isn't just a spat between two men. It's a trigger analysis for the future of our national identity. If we keep going down this road, where the police are used to silence political rivals and where we are gaslit into ignoring the destruction of our social fabric, there won't be a country left for our grandkids. We are at a tipping point. Look at the global context. Do you think this would happen in Dubai? Do you think the authorities in Poland or Hungary would allow grooming gangs to operate for decades for fear of being called names? Of course not. No other country would do this. Only in the UK do we have a leadership so divorced from reality that they prioritize the feelings of the perpetrators over the lives of the victims. We are becoming a laughingstock on the world stage, a country that has forgotten how to protect its own. I already know what the woke media and the BBC will say about this. They'll call Rupert Lowe far right, they'll call his party, Restore Britain, extremist, and they'll focus on his language rather than the crimes he's talking about. They'll try to cancel the conversation before it even starts. But they can't dismantle the argument, because the argument is based on the reality on the ground. You cannot gaslight people whose lives have been ruined by these policies. The final verdict? The masks are off. We are seeing that the establishment and even parts of the so-called opposition are more interested in maintaining the wicked system than in saving Britain. Rupert Lowe is promising no apologies and mass deportations. Whether you agree with his methods or not, he is highlighting that two-tier rot at the heart of our state. I've given you the facts. Now you give me your thoughts. Is Lowe right to take this hard line, or has he gone too far? Is Farage glitching out, or just being pragmatic? Smash that like button, hit subscribe so we can keep fighting this gaslighting together, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't let them silence the silent majority. Stay frosty.